The foul on Sophie Cunningham that led to Dejane Carrington's ejection. Many left out a big part of the story, however. Carrington posted on X appearing to blame white privilege for her ejection. That was left out in much media coverage. Clay Travis joins me now. Well, Clay, that was a hard foul. What does white privilege have to do with it?
That's a great question for Carrington. She later went on social media and said basically everyone who connected the fact that she had been ejected to the game to the white privilege post, which also tagged the Indiana Fever, the team she was playing against, had missed the point, and that wasn't what she was intending to point out at all. Now, I don't know what's going on here. I think the likelihood is that she was embarrassed when she played the race card and people just declined it and said, we're not going to allow this here. This is ludicrous. Look, she clotheslined a player on a breakaway layup. When you do that, regardless of your race, you get kicked out of the game. What I think is interesting is what you said, which is many sports media have completely ignored this. And I always think this is important to point out. Imagine Sophie Cunningham does the exact same foul. She's the blonde player for the Indiana Fever who came out and said men shouldn't be in women's sports. She does the exact same foul. She gets kicked out. And then she goes into the locker room and posts black privilege. I think she probably would get suspended for the rest of the year. There would be an argument that her career in the WNBA was over. This player, Carrington, played last night. Not one single additional penalty. Almost no coverage of it whatsoever.
Staying on basketball, Clay, two former NBA players are challenging the WNBA's stance on biological men in women's sports. Royce White and Enes Kanter Freedom both announced that they'll be declaring for the WNBA draft. Listen to what Royce White said about this earlier today on this program.
We're going to elevate the game. We're going to put more eyeballs on these young women's hard work, their lifelong hard work. And ultimately, like I said, I'm a black woman, and I want to be respected as a black woman by the WNBA and everybody else. I don't want to take up any of the space that is dedicated to females assigned at birth or people assigned female at birth, but I do think I could help the WNBA, and if the language isn't clarified, then of course my sometimes identifying as a black transgender lesbian two-spirit would like a chance to play and help the other women elevate the game.
All right, Clay, he said it. What's your response to that?
I think, look, this is a world that we never would have believed we were in. I think when I was on with you last week, I said that the Nashville Balls were going to be an all-trans team, and I had applied for a WNBA franchise here in my hometown of Nashville. I think what's occurring is the absurdity of players, coaches, and some owners saying that men who identify as women should be eligible in the WNBA opens up the door to Royce and to Enes Kanter. And the argument is, and I think they're making a good one, you just played it there, what is a woman? If the WNBA can't tell us what a woman is, and if you have to accept whatever gender ideology someone wants to put forward as the truth, then think about this from an economic perspective. NBA players, we all know, they're very wealthy, millions, tens of millions, even hundreds of millions of dollars on their contracts. You know the next step down in pro basketball, though? The G League. Do you know what the average G League player makes? $45,000 a year. WNBA players have a $7 million salary cap now. They average $500,000 per year for playing. Let me just ask everybody watching this right now. How many men out there would raise their hand and say, I'm a woman, if you could 10x the salary that you make right now simply by identifying as a woman? I think there'd be a lot of Royce Whites out there, candidly. I think there's a lot of men watching us right now who'd say, hey, you know what? I feel like a woman, and I'll take 10x my salary right now. That's the economic reality that the WNBA is opening itself up to.
Next one for you, Clay. In an old blog post, far-left Michigan Senate candidate Abdul El Sayed said that, quote, toxic masculinity is at the heart of American football. He was referencing leaked comments from then Raiders head coach John Gruden. All right, Clay, do you think toxic masculinity is at the heart of American football?
First of all, I don't believe that masculinity is toxic. I think this is a phrase that the left wing tried to put out. We never hear about toxic femininity, right? So masculinity can be good or bad. Femininity can be good or bad, but I don't think it's toxic to say that someone is masculine. He also said, as a part of this, that he believed that football was homophobic, racist, and sexist. I don't think that's a winning message in the state of Michigan. My wife is a University of Michigan alum. They have the biggest football stadium in the country. When 110,000 people show up in the big house to watch the University of Michigan, I don't think they're going to be thinking that they're watching something that's toxically masculine, homophobic, sexist, or racist. Also, I bet Abdul El-Sayed will just pretend, like AOC did recently in her interview, that this was a part of Woke 1.0. He doesn't believe it anymore. I almost will guarantee you, I bet Abdul El-Sayed this fall will be campaigning at University of Michigan football games, at Michigan State football games, and at Detroit Lions football games. He doesn't believe this crap at all, but it is a sign, I think, of how poorly Democrats connect with men. They just can't find normal men to represent them. They're either accused of sexual assault in Maine, marrying their cousins in Maine, not eating meat down in Texas, or they're saying they hate football in Michigan. That ain't a good look for somebody who needs to appeal to male voters.
You know what, Clay? For a man who doesn't really appreciate the glories of Premier League soccer, you make a lot of sense on other subjects. You know, you really do. It's really cool. Thanks, Clay.
I try.
We'll see you soon.